Are we on? I hope we're on. Okay, yeah, I'm seeing it. All right. Was a busy day yesterday, errands and whatnot, and I ran out of day before I could get this recorded and edited. So we are live today. We'll go through what I have to tell you about, and at the end we'll pause for a visit and then go to the wrap up and outro. Alrighty, here we go. Why doesn't it play? Oh boy. I got a little discombobulated there. Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for August 13th. August 13th is the 225th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 226th in leap years, with 140 days remaining to the end of the year. This is World Organ Donation Day, August 13th, a day dedicated to raising awareness about the importance of organ donation. And I'll just tell you that I personally know at least 2 people who are alive today because someone donated an organ that they could have transplanted. So that's pretty important. August 13th is also International Left-Handers Day, established to raise awareness about the challenges and experiences faced by left-handed individuals in a predominantly right-handed world. International Left-Handers Day is every August 13th. Today's word is programmatic. For some reason, I had difficulty comprehending this word well enough to explain it. So I got my little gardening trowel, figuratively speaking, and I just kept digging until it made sense to me. We'll talk now about what I found. Programmatic is an adjective that means pertaining to the nature of a program. When something is done programmatically, what that means is it's being done according to a specific program or plan. You might think of it as something like an order of operations, like first we do this, then we do that, and these things are done in a specific way. So on down the list, always keeping to that list, the programmatic. Thinking of it that way, I guess these episodes are programmatic in that we usually have an introductory scene or slide, the old radio intro, the introduction, what day it is, and so on, the word of the day, some historical events given in chronological order, a reference to other episodes and playlists, the song of the day, and outtakes now if we have them, and we always do, don't we? And then the outro. The outtakes today won't be taken out. They'll be right along in the body of the work here. That's the way of it in live. So anyway, within that framework, I like to have a programmatic use of transitions and fonts and where things appear in the screen. So there's a practical everyday example of a programmatic approach. The dictionary, when I was looking this up, talked about music programs or just programs in general, but programmatic has to do with the nature of or according to a program, schedule, or method, such as a programmatic approach to change. Let's see here. In this sense, I guess I'd think of it as having to do with a process or a plan. Mr. Bowers says, I'm the process girl at our house. Programmatic has to do with being organized in a particular way or determined in advance. The notion can also be associated with computer programming. While I was doing this research, I discovered an interesting new source. I guess it's not new, it's new to me. In today's research, wordhippo.com. Wordhippo.com. And there was a whole page of example sentences like, he always used a particular rhetoric and programmatic boilerplate to sell himself. And what that sentence says to me is that the individual described in the sentence might have a specific job in mind, some place that he wants to work or people that he wants to work for, and he recognizes that his prospective employers would want what his prospective employers would want in terms of thought and attitude, and he's crafted his presentation according to a playbook of sorts. Might not be a literal physical playbook, but he knows the correct buzzwords to use and also the ones to avoid. He's taking a programmatic approach. In technology, the term programmatic refers to something that is related to or done using a computer program or code. For instance, a task that is automated by a software script is done programmatically. An example sentence could be, the developer wrote a programmatic solution to automate the data entry process, saving the team hours of manual work. The word programmatic comes to us as a combination of a Greek word, programma, with the addition of an English suffix to indicate in the manner of. So it's in the manner of a program. First known use of the word programmatic is in the 1840s. Programmatic. Today's word programmatic was suggested by a YouTube viewer at T. Ramsire. Thanks, Teresa. And if you have a word you'd like us to examine in this Word of the Day segment, drop it in the comments. We'll get it on the list and take a look at it. And with that, it was on August 13th, 1521, that forces led by Spanish conquistador Hernan Cortez captured and conquered the Aztec capital of Tenochtitlan. Interestingly, Tenochtitlan was located on what is now the historic center of Mexico City. This is the birthday of American target shooter known as Annie Oakley, born August 13, 1860. Born Phoebe Ann Mosey in Drake County, Ohio, Annie Oakley starred as a sharpshooter in Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. She came by her shooting skills hunting for food for the family after her father passed away when she was a child. And then she won a shooting contest when she was 15. She performed in Europe before royalty and heads of state with the Buffalo Bill Wild West show. What a gal. Annie Oakley lived to the age of 66, and her dear husband, Frank Butler, who was about 13 years her senior, was so distraught by Annie's death that he died himself less than 3 weeks later. Annie Oakley. On August 13, 1889, a man named William Gray of Hartford, Connecticut, was granted a United States patent for what he called a coin-controlled apparatus for telephones, or as we like to call them, payphones. And as you might imagine, there's a story behind that. It seems his wife was ill, and no one would let him use their phones to call a doctor for her. Fortunately, his wife recovered, but the situation inspired him to create phones that would be available to everyone, payphones, which you can barely find anymore because so many of us carry these little devices in our pockets. These little devices. I have a clock on mine right now. But these little devices in our pockets. He wanted to make them available to anyone. Alrighty. Now we have a playlist of episodes for this day in history, as well as a playlist of single subjects called How About That? And words of the day in a playlist called There's a Word for That. And I'll leave links to those playlists for you. I believe they're already in the description there. I don't know if this is, there we go. Today's song is Summer in the City by the Lovin Spoonful, #1 on August 13th, 1966. This one was written by John Sebastian and his brother Mark Sebastian and Steve Boone and was released on July 4th, 1966. Many songs about summer romanticize warm weather, but Summer in the City laments the heat of the day. I think it's a city thing. Looks like our projected high today here in Fort Worth would be 100 degrees. Summer in the City. The song was #1 on August 13th, 1966. Link in the description. Alrighty, we're pausing for a visit. I think you're there. Hi, Braxton. That's my buddy Braxton. Oh, now I remember why I had it turned that way. This is a green screen behind me, and I made the background black. So, anyway, well, all y'all have a beautiful day today, and stay safe, stay cool if you can. All righty. Now let's see where everything else is. Okay, we're going to hit the outro, and that'll be it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with the link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Alrighty, back to work. I think we got it this time.